All right, welcome back to Some Kind of Podcast, podcast where we talk about what entertains us in hopes that it entertains you. And there's points, and they don't matter, but that might be a different kind of show. Anyway, I'm Tim. I wear purple sunglasses. I'm with Cody, Steven, and Christian, and we are Some Kind of Entertainers. Welcome back to our podcast. So, what you guys been up to since we last recorded?
You got real soft there, like real sultry.
What have you guys been up to since we last recorded?
I was just making a point. I've been streaming and playing a little Saints Row.
Congrats on getting to be an affiliate.
Thanks.
Was I too quiet there? Do I need to talk louder?
You are a little quiet, but it's fine. Big shout out to Jay, aka That King Bunny, and Mad Tomato Plays for all the support, because I wouldn't have been affiliate as fast as I have got there without the two of them. So big shout out to them. But yeah,
especially Jay. Jay's really cool. Yeah. I don't know anything about Mad Tomato really, other than he's an angry vegetable.
It's mad in the British sense, not
not
angry. He's
British?
He's crazy. No, he's not at all.
He's Canadian, right?
No.
Am I making that up?
I think you are.
German?
In my mind, he was Canadian.
Some lore.
Anywho,
Polkish.
He's from the Great White North.
I forget exactly what his nationality is.
Isn't he from Texas?
He's in Texas, and he calls himself a coconut.
Texas.
Yeah.
Coconut.
But yeah,
he's the crazy vegetable.
He's the crazy vegetable. Yes.
Sorry, he's a crazy fruit.
Yes.
Tomatoes are a fruit.
Yeah. Jay and Tomato were so unbelievably helpful and supportive to get me to affiliate, and I'm forever grateful.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I've been playing a little Saints Row, which is
what do you think of it?
I'm not too far into it, so I don't really have a full opinion. I mean, it's fun. It's like a goofier GTA.
Well, how does it compare to the prior games, like the original trilogy?
It's kind of hard to compare it because the original.
Did you play the original ones?
I did.
No, I didn't.
The originals were like cartoony and goofy, like out of the gate. Like it was like that was the stick, you know. But this seems more, while it is still ridiculous, it still seems more rooted in like reality, I guess. Like it's still goofy, but like in Saints Row 4, you were the president, even though you were a gang leader, and you had superpowers. Like it didn't make a whole lot of sense, but this is just more about like the start of the Saints gang, so it's fun. I'm
also playing it. It's really fun. I like it a lot. Yeah. I think it's hilarious. I don't remember. Huh? You've heard of it? That's good.
I was gonna say I've heard that it's got a lot of fetch quests. It's like notorious for that. Have you guys noticed that thus far? However many hours you are into it.
I haven't. I mean, if they're technically fetch quests, they're not what
we define fetch quests.
So when I think fetch quest, I think 14, Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, that's what I'm going
with.
And
that's not what the quests are like. Like 14 was like, hey, go 1,000,000 miles that way and get this thing from this guy. And then you get there, and then the guy that sent you on the quest is there, and he's like, hey, you made it. Let's meet back where we came from for no reason at all. And that, like, to me, that's a fetch quest. This is more like, I don't know, you go to a place, but like it doesn't seem like it's very back and forth. It's just very, I don't know, it's very pointed. Like some of it might be pointless overall, but I think it's for the most part not fetch questy.
Yeah, I guess what I was getting at is apparently there's a lot of just driving back and forth to the same locations, back and back, and the map
that does
apparently
happen.
is smaller than GTA 5. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, by a lot.
By a lot.
By a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure This is a remake of the original game?
I don't remember the original Saints Row, so I don't know if it's a remake or if it's a brand new just reboot of the series.
Pretty sure it's a reboot.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of driving. If there is fast travel, I haven't figured it out yet.
There is fast travel.
Okay.
You gotta take a picture and you unlock it.
Oh, interesting. I haven't done that, I guess. Yeah, but
I guess I'm a little further than you.
Maybe.
You've been streaming and doing other things, so.
Yeah, it's been crazy with work and then streaming.
I also, like, in terms of games like Saints Row and GTA, I have ADD, and sandboxing games, like, can be a little too much for me because I want to do everything all at the same time. So every time something pops up on my map, I'm like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? And then it's like 20 hours. I'm like, all right, I should probably do the second mission. I mean,
no, that's fair.
That's it just is what it is.
I mean, that's how.
I mean,
yeah.
I was just gonna say the fast travel in Saints Row might be unlocked similar to how it is in Temtem, where it's not even part of the story. You have to do a random side quest to unlock it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the fast travel thing, no, it's just a picture thing. It unlocks immediately.
Oh.
You just have to find it's weird because like you have to go around and take pictures of things anyways. And then some of them that you just do it and it's like you can now fast travel here.
Oh, so I think I just took a picture of a cannon and placed it in the like hideout or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, because I took a picture of like this big rock and it was like you can fast travel here now.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, cool. And I took a picture of like these two big monsters playing Galaga on an arcade machine, and it was like you can fast travel here now. I'm like, oh,
interesting.
Cool.
Okay, I'll figure that out at some point.
I'm assuming each area of the map, because like it's sectioned off into like areas, and then the areas have little sub areas. I'm assuming every sub area has like its own little monument thing. I guess you take a picture of, and it's like you can just come here now if you want. If you don't feel like driving, which I don't know, I like to explore, so I hardly ever fast travel on games like that just because I like exploring.
Yeah.
So Tim, you've been primarily playing Saints Row. Did you fall off the Temtem?
Yeah. Just because you guys got so far ahead of me. Not through any fault of you guys. You guys were just playing the game. That's fine. But I was like, well, they're ahead of me now, and I don't really feel like playing.
I mean, we'll happily catch you back up because there's plenty of endgame content that I haven't even messed with yet.
So did you
especially
guys
those
beat
layers.
the game, Stephen and Christian?
I have not.
Yeah, so Steve and I were playing a bit last night, and I guess a couple nights prior beat the very basic main story. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that opens up as soon as you do that, kind of like almost every other MMO. Where
Now
then
you can play the actual game.
Yeah, now the end game kicks in, but it doesn't really explain any of it. It kind of gives you like a couple like screenshots on like, or like snippets on screen. It's like, hey, you can now do this, this, and this. Have fun, and then it just all the text goes away, and it's just your character back in your hometown. And I'm like, okay, cool. So how do I do all of those things?
Interesting.
One of the other things too is that since the game hasn't fully launched yet and it's like 1.0 status, I think it happens on the 6th. There's got to be some sort of correction because there's a lot of stuff that you can do in endgame that involve you spending a lot of money, and there is no way to get enough money to do the things that you're trying to do.
Well, yeah, that was something from the get-go that was terrible. Was you just can't buy or do anything.
Yeah.
Steven, what are your thoughts?
On Temtem?
Yeah,
just still checking through. I'm almost done with the game. Probably got like 2 or 3 hours more to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you feel like you'll stick around for the end game once you're done, or like once you hit that main story end, do you think it's gonna be like time to take a break?
Probably gonna mess around with some of the in-game stuff and just see what it's about, but probably try and get into some other stuff as well. Just like to be caught up and done before the launch.
So you guys only
the
be,
launch.
good. Of
Yeah.
the game.
Oh! I
Still
keep
in
forgetting.
beta, technically.
I keep forgetting that game's not like out.
Yeah, I was actually making a joke that Christian beat the game before the game's actually out. So congrats, you beat the game, and now that they're going to release it for you to play. But I think they're releasing more content with the first patch. Like there's going to be like a new area. It'd be cool if they like release a new Temtem as well. What I hope they don't do is I hope they don't do like a season pass or anything. Like I don't need to pay for another season pass. Like I know that
They are.
Are they?
They're doing a battle pass.
A battle pass.
Yeah.
So they're not like locking like new Temtem into the battle pass, though, are they? Isn't it just like cosmetic stuff?
I don't know. I think it's from what I read, it's cosmetic stuff, but I can't remember really.
See, that's kind of a turnoff because everybody's doing that now, and I get that like Fortnite was popular with that, and that's kind of how they made all their money and got really popular was with their battle pass and stuff like that. But now too many games are doing it, and I don't really want to buy a battle pass for every single game I play.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed that that's like the norm now. Like, I really hope that, in future single player story based games like that, the new Harry Potter game, right? Or was it Forspoken? Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Games like that better not have a battle pass. That would be ridiculous.
I mean, battle pass is a good inexpensive way for people to technically buy DLC and keep playing the game.
Yeah, and I think it's always kind of looped into that free to play model where the battle pass isn't a necessity. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it that encourages you to get the battle pass, but it's not like you have to do it in order to play
But
the game.
Temtem was not free to play. I paid for it.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like even in that regard, like you paid for the game, and if you want like everything, then yeah, you probably have to subscribe to the battle pass. But you could still just play the entire main story and the end game content without having to worry about it, unless you just want all those extra cosmetics.
Okay.
Have either of y'all heard? I heard something that Overwatch. I know this is really random, but we started talking about battle passes. Is Overwatch getting a battle pass instead of loot boxes?
I don't know about instead, but it is getting a battle pass.
I guess alongside of.
Dude, I haven't played Overwatch in so long that I didn't realize that they didn't have a battle pass.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
I used to be really into it, but not anymore. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, Steven, do you remember when we were playing the beta? What that because the battle pass wasn't in there yet, right? It was waiting till the launch.
Yeah, I don't think the beta really had anything other than just that one mode to play. But I don't think it's gonna have loot boxes. But I could be wrong on that.
Interesting. I mean,
because I know they were part of the whole loot box ordeal that happened like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So I think they've kind of just done away with those for good. I know they still have them on the first game though. So I don't know if maybe they changed their practices towards them or what. But I don't think the second game's supposed to have them.
My guess is once Overwatch 2 officially launches, they'll kill the loot boxes in 1 as well. Because they're essentially the same game, but 2 has a story, I guess.
Yeah.
So they actually just made a press release statement a couple weeks ago saying that at the launch of 2, 1 is dead.
Okay, good.
Because for a while there, they were saying they were going to keep both alive, and that was kind of the whole talking point since they announced 2. But now they've kind of done a 180 on that regard, and
good.
Now one is done.
That is the smart course of action. Let's not.
Yeah, it wouldn't make much sense to have both.
When they announced it and they were like, Overwatch 2 is coming out. It looks slightly better than Overwatch, and it's the same game. And they were like, what?
Yeah, I remember when that happened, I wasn't really impressed by it.
It was just confusing. Like, it was like, so I need the second one to play the new stuff? They were like, no. You can play all the new stuff on the old game. Like, so why do I need the new one? It looks a little better.
You can play the story.
And they were like, "Is it free?" And they were like, "Nope."
Well, they were also kind of backing themselves into a weird corner because I know in 2 they implemented the 5v5 instead of the 6v6.
Yeah.
And so theoretically, I think if you played the new maps on Overwatch 1, it'd be 6v6. But if you played the new maps on Overwatch 2, it'd be 5v5, which I was super confused by.
Yeah. I don't know. Good old Blizzard doing Blizzard things.
Hey, at least they're doing good things instead of
Questionable.
not so good things.
Questionable.
Questionable things at best.
Yeah.
Getting sued by everybody and whatnot. That's interesting. I don't know. I have no desire to ever play Overwatch ever again in the history of my life.
The hamster killed it for me.
No, I just got burnt out playing it. We played way too much of it.
I've still never laughed harder until that one day we were playing and that Junkrat he tried to make the jump and couldn't do it, and then me and Steven died and we lost the game. We were winning too, like we were like right there about to win, and then it just fell apart.
Yeah,
I don't even remember that at all.
There's a video of it somewhere, and
I'm sure
it's just me
every once in a while.
It's me ugly laughing and Steven laughing, I think mostly at me, and then you and Christian being like, "What just happened?"
Oh, I remember that because me and Christian were so confused.
We were winning.
Yeah, I think I was laughing at the Junkrat 'cause I was legit right in front of him, like right beside you.
I just
so
remember
good.
It was a good day.
You had that little like snickering laugh going on, and Cody was just cackling.
Oh, I
and
was
me and Christian were like, we don't know what's going on.
We need to
a
find
good
that
day.
video and share it on the Discord because that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, you should find all those videos, like the one where you like wrecked a whole team as Reaper.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were playing with Matt that day.
Yeah, dude, you like, I think it was like when they had to move the payload or something. You
Yeah.
stuck behind them
Yeah.
and did your ultimate, and it actually worked the way it's supposed to
Yeah,
work.
the way it was supposed to.
Yeah,
Good
before
times.
they like nerfed it.
Good times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steven, I don't know if you said what have you been up to?
I've been playing just if I'm not working, I've just been playing Tim. Got Soul Hackers 2 this past Friday.
So that's the one that's in the Persona universe, yeah?
It's in that general realm of game, but it's not technically in the universe.
Okay, so it's like Shin Megami Tensei,
Yeah.
which is also Persona-like. Oh.
Okay, so we got Steven back, and I don't really remember what we were talking about. It was Soul Hackers
important.
2 being part of the universe, but not really part of the universe.
I don't want to touch too much into it, but yeah, it's just a JRPG. It's not too bad. I can't really say I recommend it yet, just because I'm only like a few hours in. But I don't know, I'm enjoying it.
That's good.
I got a new Switch OLED, the Splatoon one. So now that I've got that, I'm gonna try and get back into Digimon Survive since I never.
What is the OLED one? The OLED? I don't know what the difference is between the Switch and that.
It's essentially just a bigger screen.
It's a bigger, brighter, more colorful screen.
Yeah.
You have it near you, Steven?
Huh?
Do you have it near you, the new Switch?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the design on it.
So I know my room's a little dark, but
that looks really cool. I have never seen him do a like embroidery type design like that, except for like the Switch Pro controller. That's really cool.
It's also on the dock too, isn't it?
Yeah, can't really grab the dock. But yeah.
That's pretty awesome though.
Definitely an impulse buy, but I think worth it. But since I planned on playing Digimon Survive in handheld mode anyway, that definitely is gonna incentivize me to play a little bit more.
Yeah.
That if it's still watching Clone Wars.
I didn't know you were watching Clone Wars.
I feel like I say things and just
Listen,
gets passed over.
no, I have a terrible memory.
It's okay. I've been watching Clone Wars, She-Hulk. I didn't watch today's episode as of recording.
Have we
September
talked
1st.
about She-Hulk?
No,
No, I don't think
not
so.
since I've been back.
All right. Well, what do you guys think about She-Hulk?
I mean, I like it so far. Still haven't seen the new episode, but
The new episode's good.
It is good.
Good.
Yeah, I think the show is good. I don't know where
I like that it's not.
I don't know where they're going with it.
Yeah. So my thing with She-Hulk is it seems like Hulk is a weird character to bring in like a second version of when there are multiple of the original Avengers that are now gone.
Mark Ruffalo ain't gonna be Hulk forever.
Well, I know, but I mean, like Iron Man is gone and
Mhm.
Captain America is gone. I mean, I know he's been.
No, he's not.
Well, the original Captain America is gone. So I'm just saying that there are Avengers that could easily have like a side story, like a new version of themselves introduced to the show. And since Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is one of the still surviving ones of the main cast, seems kind of weird time to bring in another version.
So I think we've said it a few times. We don't read comic books, like not really. But I do know that She-Hulk is an important Marvel character.
I also don't know if she's gonna really be what role she's gonna be playing going forward, because one of the things about the show is that it doesn't seem like they're taking it like overtly seriously. Like there's almost like a Deadpool vibe behind kind of her character because she keeps breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, I think that's how it is in the comics too, though. From what I've heard.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't know it. I don't know anything about She-Hulk other than she's a She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show's not bad so far. Yeah.
I think it's funny. Yeah, but this week's episode was good. Whenever you get a second, you should check it out, Stephen.
Yeah, I might watch it after this podcast.
There you go. By the time this airs, there'll be another one ready to come out.
Yeah, by the time this airs, I'll be caught up, hopefully.
Yay. Speaking of, by the time this airs, between the last time we recorded and this podcast we're recording right now, there have already been 2 episodes of House of Dragon, and by the time that this comes out, there will have a 3rd episode that has aired. So it's just kind of funny that it's just the way they record things that like we have 1 podcast and 3 episodes of House of the Dragon. But I know we've all seen the most recent 2 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What are our thoughts on House of the Dragon? The house that the dragons built.
I wasn't super looking forward to watching it, I guess, just because I've never been super big on the Targaryens. I like it. That first episode definitely got my attention. There's not really a character where I'm like, oh, I hope nothing bad happens to this person, except for maybe like the princess. That's it.
Yeah. So a couple things I wanted to bring up as discussion points. The first one's just kind of like a cool fact. And so slightly spoilers to people who may have not seen House of the Dragon episode 1 or 2. In episode 1, Viserys, that his name is Viserys. He's a king, right?
Yeah.
He talks about the prophecy that one of his ancestors, I forget, I think Aemon or Aegon or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're all different names.
They all rhyme.
Yeah. He talks about, there's this prophecy about the end of days, so to speak. And essentially, he talks about the prophecy that comes to pass in Game of Thrones with the White Walkers and everything. Like he essentially is talking about Game of Thrones. And it's the kind of a link between the 2 shows because there's not a whole lot that links them currently. I mean, there's only been 2 episodes. Who knows what else could come up? And in fact, we can talk about here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But there was just to link the shows together. But one of the things I read on that I did not pick up on is that King Viserys, he has his dagger that he's holding with him all the time, and when he's talking about the prophecy, he's clutching this dagger as he's holding it. That is the dagger that ends up falling into the Lannister hands when Robert Baratheon takes over. It's the dagger that is used to attempt to take Bran's life after he falls out of the castle. That then falls into the Stark hands. That ends up with Arya, who uses it to kill the Night King.
Huh.
I did not pick up on
I
that.
didn't pick up on that
I
either.
didn't. I had to read it, but it is the same. It is the same dagger because it's shaped the same way that Arya has, that she uses to kill the Night King. So that dagger that he's holding when he's talking about the prophecy actually comes to pass.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
I don't know.
That's some major foreshadowing right there.
Obviously, it takes place 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, but it's just kind of cool that they paid homage to it by having him have this dagger that it's made of Valyrian steel, and the Targaryens are obviously descendants of old Valyria, which they talk about quite frequently in the show. So I just thought it was a pretty cool thing I wanted to bring up. The second thing I wanted to bring up is that I don't know about you guys, but I always watch the little behind the scenes thing because I feel like they give away some insight on the show that can help you put things into frame of reference. Like at the end of the first episode, they mentioned that Viserys did not want the throne, but he was the only male heir that was alive, and that's what the old council went with or whatever. And that he never wanted to be on the throne. The second one, I noticed that the princess and her friend Alicent are the two actors that play them right now are credited as young Princess Rhaenyra and young Alicent Hightower. And I looked it up, and there are different actors that play them later. So there's going to be time jumps in this. Now, between episode 1 and episode 2, supposedly 6 months had passed. I think it's pretty interesting because Game of Thrones didn't have that. There wasn't really major time jumps like that.
They did it in like the later seasons, but yeah, definitely not this early. And I think in that same kind of foreshadowing sequence or whatever that they talk about the upcoming episode, there's another time jump because the whatever Lady Hightower, the girl that the king ends up marrying, is like not only she's like got pregnant and then already had the baby in the next episode.
Yeah.
If there's time jumps, that's definitely very interesting.
Yeah, so how do you guys feel about that? Because Game of Thrones, like, they had a little bit of time jump. Like, there was a whole thing that Cody brings up every once in a while that he absolutely hates, that there was no battle between the Martells and the Lannisters. Jaime shows up with an army, and then it just skips to him already winning the battle. So how do you guys feel about them doing time jumps like that?
For a show like this, I think I'd be okay with. For a show like when they did it in Game of Thrones, no. I didn't like that. But if they're using the time jumps as like a reason to like get popular characters on screen, I kind of feel like that's going to be a little bit of a cop out to get views.
Yeah, I think for me, so the reason it bothered me with Game of Thrones is because it wasn't an established thing. They went like 6.5 seasons without any time jumps, and then all of a sudden they were just like, we're skipping through, we're trucking now, and I was like, why? But with this, they were like, within the first episode, they were like, all right, and it's been 6 months. Like, okay, cool. If you're gonna,
the beginning of the show, like they talk about like her dad wasn't king, and then it's boom,
king.
Like the next scene, he's been king for 9 years.
Yeah, so like totally fine with that.
Yeah, something like that. That's more acceptable.
Yeah, if it's an established thing that we're gonna do within the first couple episodes, cool, do it.
But speaking on that, like when the second episode starts and it's already been 6 months, I didn't realize there was a time jump. Like they were talking about it, and I was like, "What's happening? This just happened."
It wasn't definitely until like 15 or 20 minutes into the episode that someone says 6 months ago this happened. You're like, "Oh wait, that was the last episode that happened."
I was like, "Golly." Yeah, I was completely lost until they mentioned that.
Something I'm curious about too is that since they're doing the time jumps this early in the what might be a series. I don't know if they're doing 1 season, 2 seasons, whatever.
Well,
Definitely the
they
second
confirmed season 2.
Yeah, they confirmed season 2.
Season 2 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But since they're doing the time jumps that rapidly and this early, I'm wondering if they're trying to just give you the backstory to build towards the main plot line, and then it's going to kind of even out a bit more.
I'm assuming that's kind of what I thought, is that's what I'm assuming is what's happening. It's like, especially because there's going to be like Rhaenyra and Alicent have older versions of their character played by different actors. So I'm assuming they're getting up to the point where like, okay, now that we're at the point where like the main thing is going, like, I guess like they're just setting on the foundation for like, this is what's going to lead to the eventual story that we're trying to tell.
Yeah. That's my guess.
So
something I thought was super interesting in this, and it's kind of why I was skeptical going into it and would have preferred numerous other plot lines, prequels, whatever, spin-offs before this, is just because like the way Game of Thrones lore is about the House of Targaryen, it's that like they've got dragons, no one else has dragons. And what I loved most about Game of Thrones was the battle sequences. And if you're showing up to every single fight with a dragon, then like there's not going to be too much of a fight.
No, that's how they won Westeros. Is that so? This is where I'm getting kind of confused, and maybe they'll explain it in the show. Like we're only 2 episodes in. I'm pretty sure there's going to be 10 this season, and they've already confirmed season 2. So we have at least 20 episodes for them at the very minimum to flesh out the story. And I don't know how long the book Fire and Blood is, which is what this series is based on. So I don't know how much longer they're going to do with it. I have no idea. The Targaryens, like, they have this like downfall, but the whole downfall came because they were all inbred. Like they inbred themselves so much that it got to a point where like they think their dragons got smaller and they couldn't control them anymore. And essentially, like they just kind of depleted their own army to the point, and that's why the Mad King was so mad, was because it was through incest and all the kind of negative effects from that whole thing was all the Targaryen backstory. And then this dude, first of all, I don't know who Emma, his wife, was to him. They could have been related. I don't know. But he totally has another kid with somebody that's not a Targaryen. He picks like a commoner to be his wife, which I was like, shouldn't this, like, I guess it's to the point of contention because he is supposed to choose somebody that is like, I guess, like a second cousin to him or something like that little girl or whatever. And yeah, first of all, really awkward to watch. I'm glad they didn't really explore too far into that. Because that little scene with them walking, I was like, this is awkward.
Uncomfy.
Uncomfy for sure. But yeah, so I guess this heir, I don't know how it's gonna happen in the show, but like supposedly he has an heir and it's only half Targaryen.
Yeah, I think by the end of season 2 there'll be another time jump where it skips to the Mad King, is my guess. Or like
maybe.
Like I don't know if they're going to go all the way to the birth of Daenerys in this or not.
I mean, that'd be a way, like if they're going to end the show, like you could have it to where the last scene is Daenerys being born and
right
at oh god, Dragonstone. Thank you, I almost forgot the name.
Somewhere along the lines, though, the dragons are going to die in this show.
Yeah. They have to.
Yeah.
Because like there's none when Daenerys is born.
Yeah, there's just 3 eggs in existence.
There's the 3 eggs, and they think they're dead eggs too.
So yeah, they're gonna die. Said something like, and I think that goes like to what you were saying. Like if they just show up to every battle and with a dragon and just wreck house, like yeah, I mean,
Daenerys had 3, and at the end of the show, she only had 1, so they can be killed.
Yeah, it's gonna happen some way somehow.
That's what kind of kills prequels for me, because like it's hard to have like that emotional attachment to characters or stuff when you already know, like, all right, well, you're dead in the actual show, so
yeah.
Not getting me
that
this
is
time.
that is the caveat. I don't know the word I'm looking for here, but essentially with any prequel, who's
Yeah.
gonna live, who's gonna die, and who kind of. I mean, not so much as like like there's gonna be a Targaryen on the throne because there was Targaryens on the throne all the way up until the Mad King. So like, there's never any threat of any Targaryen not being on the throne. I guess it's just which Targaryen is it going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it was like watching Obi-Wan. It was like, all right, well, no, he's not going to kill Vader.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
Vader's
that
not going to kill him.
Obi, even when they're fighting each other, like none of these two are gonna die.
yeah, there were zero stakes in that show.
Yeah,
Zero
Luke's fine.
stakes.
Leia's fine. Nothing's
Yeah.
going to happen to anybody.
Like they did the whole
Right
like
now.
Reva going after Luke, and I was like, okay.
In fact, that's the only problem I actually have with the Obi-Wan show is that
Mistakes.
it ended in predictable. Like essentially, nothing happens in that whole entire show.
Yeah,
Nothing.
it was
Love
just
the show. The show's great.
Yeah, the show's great. Don't get me wrong.
Mistakes.
Loved it.
But there's nothing that happens in it.
It was
nothing.
it was a pointless show. It was just, hey, you guys want to see some more Obi-Wan?
Yeah, the only emotions that came from it were nostalgia and just being.
I mean, I cared a little bit, I guess,
again.
when that one chick that he kind of like died. Other than that, I was kind of like, I mean, I know Luke's gonna be fine. I know Leia's gonna be fine. I know Uncle Ben and Aunt Beru are gonna be fine for now. Well, like it.
I don't know. I feel like the worst offender, and it's one of my favorite movies. Now that we're on this tangent, is Rogue One, because like,
oh yeah,
it was like, like watching it when they announced that movie, I was like, so this leads up to A New Hope. This is about them stealing the plans, and they're like, yeah. I was like, so they're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, you don't know. I was like,
no, they all die.
Don't die though. Like I've seen the movies. Like, they're not
in A New Hope. They say everyone dies.
Yeah, I was like, so they're gonna die. So I have no emotional connection to any of these characters.
But Rogue One's awesome though.
It is. It's a great movie, and it's the same with like like I'm looking forward to Andor, but like no stakes in that show.
Don't get attached to Andor. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Did he die?
In Rogue One.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
I didn't know he was a character in Rogue One.
Yeah, he's like the main character in Rogue One. Next to
I've seen Rogue One like one time.
The Rogue Once time.
Yeah. How you say one time? That's how many times I've seen Rogue One. I was like, Rogue One. It says it in the title. One. Everyone dies. There's no stakes. You guys just said it yourself. Yeah. I was like, everyone died. They got the
Vader lives.
The only cool part, I mean, not the only cool part, but the coolest part of Rogue One is the Vader fight at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That hallway
scene. The best scene of the whole movie.
Like, the movie was good, and then that part happened, and I was like, this movie's the best movie ever.
Yeah, somebody just be like, hey, you want to watch Rogue One? Be like, I
watched the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, last 5 minutes. So.
No, just the scene when like they're all in the dark and just the lightsaber comes out and it just illuminates Vader is the best scene in Star Wars history, in my opinion.
It's
a good one for sure.
I'm a little biased though. I feel like my new favorite scene though is Boba and his reappearance of his armor and the
when he's wearing it.
That scene's great.
When he gets onto like they're all backed into like corners and the stormtroopers are attacking Mando and what's her face Fennec. And then Fennec and then Boba just drops down in his armor and just wrecks house.
Mm-hmm.
That's
such a good scene.
That is by far my favorite Star Wars scene ever.
That's cool.
The scene of him and Mando at the end of Boba Fett
was pretty
really
good. It was pretty good. All
right, razzle dazzle.
Them teaming up's great. Anyway, speaking of movies and watching them, I watched and teaming up.
Yeah, sure. This movie you watched.
Oh yeah, I guess it is about people teaming up. I watched. I think it's right here. Right here, yeah.
Yep.
I have to move it really weird in order to get it. I watched Bonnie and Clyde.
How was it?
It was good.
Out of 10, rate it.
Well, okay, so I gave it a 7 out of 10, which isn't bad. It's a solid 7. Okay. I was kind of hooked at the beginning, and then the middle is kind of dry for a little bit. First of all, I'm a little bit of a dumbass, and I didn't realize that Bonnie and Clyde were actually people.
Yeah.
Like they existed. They were real. They were not. It's just not just some movie. Like it's. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a movie, but like it's based off real people. So I didn't realize that they were real. First of all,
Old B and C.
Yeah. It was really good. It for a movie that was made in 1967, supposedly it was really violent because it like kicks off like the essentially R-rated genre, even though R-rated wasn't a thing back in 1967. When it was ironically rated PG.
Yeah, we were talking about this at work. Not to tangent again too hard, but like,
Yeah.
older movies, I think until like the 90s.
Well, yeah, PG-13 didn't come around until like the late 80s.
Like PG-13 was essentially R.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, they got away with a lot in PG and PG-13 movies.
Technically, when this movie came out, because I looked it up, when this movie came out, it was rated M, which is not mature. I don't know what it said. It was just M, but it
Might be okay.
Might be okay.
Maybe watch it.
Maybe watch
I don't
this.
know.
Rated
Maybe
for...
don't bring your kids.
Mayhaps.
I don't know. Mayhaps. I don't know. It was rated M, and then when the rating system came out, it was changed to PG. And now, when I watched it, it's officially rated R. So it's only rated R for the violence. There's really not a whole lot of cursing in it. There's some implied sexuality, but it's really just rated R, mainly because it's a very violent movie.
Yeah.
They murder a lot of people. And then at the end, they get royally decimated. Bonnie and Clyde do. They die very harshly.
Yeah.
So my one really major critique of the movie, besides the part where I said it gets kind of slow in the middle until it picks up at the end, is the fact that the movie just ends like in the most abrupt way. Like they get shot up, and then they're just like the end.
Yeah.
I get your main characters are dead, but there's no fallout from that. There's no, we got them, boys. Let's.
It's kind of like Thelma and Louise. Like they just drive their car off the side of the canyon, and then the movie's just over. You're like,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess it's like that in a sense. Yeah.
Certified banger.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I gave it a 7 out of 10. So that being said, Cody has picked one. Steven has picked one. I believe it is your turn, Christian, now.
Oh yeah.
So it's a 10 by 10 poster frame. So row 1 through 10, and then across. Which number do you want to go for here?
All right. So the ones that have a white background are the ones you haven't watched, correct?
They're gold, but yes.
Okay.
Anything that stands out like this one or that one, I've watched.
Okay. All right. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. 7 down, 6 across.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want me to watch Spartacus?
Hey, it's a good one.
It's a good
the
movie.
1960 version.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the older one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the older one. Yeah, I've never seen Spartacus, so I'll look forward to watching it by my next podcast. And
this term is overused, in my opinion, but it's a classic.
What?
Spartacus.
What term? Oh, Spartacus. Okay.
Oh no. That was my bad. The term that's overused is something being classic, but I think Spartacus is a classic.
Spartacus is a very overused term.
I've never used Spartacus in my daily life, but okay. It was Spartacus. It's very Spartacus of you.
Well, I mean, I am
Have you
Spartacus.
guys all seen Spartacus?
Yeah, I am Spartacus. So,
You've seen Spartacus? I'm waiting for somebody to answer.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
I've seen it several times growing up with my dad. It's a long movie, FYI.
It is.
So brace yourself for that.
Get a snack.
Get a couple.
Like it was one of those VHS movies where it would come in those like really like wide things because there would be like I think there was either 2 or 3 VHS tapes that was the one movie.
Oh geez.
Kind of like Titanic.
I mean, I didn't have to, but when I watched The Lord of the Rings, I watched the 4-hour one, so I'll be okay. I mean, I can watch 4 hours of people walking. I can watch Spartacus. You guys are picking a lot of old ones. I think you guys haven't gone beyond 1970 yet. I mean, I know you're just
I
picking
was gonna say,
randomly.
it's
You
not
don't,
our
you
fault.
can't see, but like, you guys haven't. You guys have just been. You need to watch some classics, Tim.
Well, here's what we do. Next time after you've watched this, you pick, but don't look at the board. Just pick a random.
Just
set.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Like, it's a 10 by 10, so just say like, okay, I think of 2 by 8 or something like that, and then you look around.
Okay.
If it's already been grabbed, then do another one.
Okay. I'm willing to do that,
Yeah,
and then we'll just start over again with Steven once I'm done.
Well, there we go.
Until I watch all 100.
there you go.
But yeah, so I'll watch Spartacus by the time we record our next podcast. Blind Cloud was good. It definitely ranks kind of in the middle of the 13 that I've seen so far.
So of those 13, what's your top 3?
Oh, actually, I have it. I was working on that while we were getting set up. So I have 3 movies that are in the top 10, or that I have 3 movies that have scored 10 out of 10, and that's Star Wars: A New Hope, Kill Bill Volume 1, and Psycho are the ones that have been scored 10 out of 10. So I have 3 of them.
Hey,
Followed by
I picked Psycho.
You did.
Followed by Jurassic Park and Avengers that have 9.
I don't remember which one I picked.
You picked the last one, Bonnie
and Clyde.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, Steven had Psycho, you had Bonnie and Clyde, and then Christian had Spartacus.
Okay.
So I look forward to seeing it. Before we get to talking what I really want to talk about here, I kind of need a sidebar tangent here for a second, because I've been watching My Hero Academia, and I don't know why all of a sudden I had this itch to watch it, because I was watching it, and then I think I watched it when season 3 ended, and then for whatever reason, maybe I didn't have Funimation at the time. I can't remember. I didn't watch season 4 or season 5. Some of them I'm in the midst, close to the end of season 4, and it is so good. It's so good. I can't even express how good it is into words. Like I literally at the end of the episode, I'm like, this is so good, and I feel like I'm missing out on something.
It's really Spartacus, if you ask me.
So the one thing I'll say, I can't remember if it's in season 4 or 5. But I think it's like the first half of one of them where it's like the old dude and the little girl.
Yeah, the little girl. Yeah, that just happened.
That was a rough few episodes. I was just like, can we not talk about this?
The one where like she can rewind people. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I like the Gentleman Thief.
So he just got introduced in the last
guy.
episode I watched. He just got introduced in the last episode.
I like that guy.
So I'm excited to watch the rest of it. I just needed to tangent for a second to talk about how amazing that it is, because I can't believe I haven't. And didn't you say season 6 is coming out soon, Christian?
I think it's in October.
Yeah, I'm excited. Anyway, so
Jack, likes My Hero, don't you?
I mean, he better. First of all, he's the main character, and you named your dog after him. So
I was hoping I would say Deku and he would respond, but apparently he's got a bad itch right now, so he's just not even paying me any attention.
He's also a dog.
He only pays attention when Tim does the robot.
Not paying attention.
I would have lost it.
I know. I was waiting. I was hoping it was going to happen, but it didn't. So one of the best things about when I was watching Game of Thrones is that not necessarily the show itself, which was really good up until later seasons, with it, how you feel is how you feel, was the fact that the reactions to it, like the Twitter reactions, the memes, they're all hilarious. And I would, always enjoy the Monday after an episode airing, kind of seeing the reactions that people have, because they're honestly quite hilarious. So I realized that like House of the Dragon, I don't know how popular it's going to be in terms of Game of Thrones. It's probably not going to be on the same level, but there seems to have a following enough to the point where like they're going to renew it for season 2. But so I like had to Google reactions to it just to see if they were still doing it, and they are. But upon doing that, I realized that I had come across a number of articles. Essentially, essentially it's the same website. One place saying that the show was good. Next thing saying it was bad, don't watch it. And then another one saying that it was like okay, like take it or leave it. It is what it is, kind of thing. And I know that we've seen similar things before with like IGN, where like they'll post on Twitter that something was bad, or they'll post on Facebook that something was really really good. You should check it out. Or then they'll post on like their actual website like it was okay, like you could take it or leave it. And I'm noticing that it seems to be happening kind of across the board with other stuff now. Because this was a New York Times post. It was 3 different things that said Game of Thrones, yay, nay, or eh. So just kind of wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on it being presented where like no one really has a clear opinion anymore. It's all they kind of cover everyone's base, not to offend anybody.
I don't know, honestly.
I guess I haven't thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's
So one thing that is interesting that I saw the other day was that there's a lot of the major journalistic outlets, like Forbes or any of the like online journalistic outlets like IGN, they have like subcontracted journalists and freelance writers that and they pay them by the story or even by the word or whatever. And so I think a lot of the reasons that you're seeing 3 or 4 different reviews is because they just have these people that work underneath their umbrella, but they have like their own like weird company that they like us, like they'll work for like some kind of entertainment, but then they publish their story underneath the IGN umbrella. And so like IGN has like 3 or 4 official scores for the same game, and they're all over the place. And it's because they have different journalists all writing the reviews, and they all have way different viewpoints on whether or not the game's good or terrible. And apparently, like the other day, the reason I thought about this and was bringing this up is I think it was Forbes wrote a story, or one of the journalists that were authorized to publish underneath their brand, and apparently the story wasn't true, and they had to redact the whole thing, because there's no like checks and balance system. Apparently, like once you get hired as a journalist with a lot of these outlets, you can write a story, publish it, and then it's just press until someone says otherwise. And it was something to do with I think it was like an Xbox related story. But they had to have it taken down because it wasn't correct. And then apparently there was like the CEO or something of Forbes came out and was like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We are going to make sure this doesn't happen in the future." But apparently it happens all the freaking time because people will just use slander or whatever in their publications, and it doesn't get caught until after it's published because all these journalists are publishing on current trending media and content. And so they're trying to keep up with it, and there's not really a system to go in after them and actually check to see what they're publishing is accurate or true. So.
Sorry, Tim. I was trying to figure out audio issues, and then I heard you talking, and I guess I heard something different than what you were saying. And I was like, I don't know. I thought we were talking about something completely different today. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
You're good.
There's a lot of that, like you were saying. I don't know why. I mean, that what Christian just said makes a lot of sense. But like, I mean, is IGN the same way?
It seems, yeah, you're the one that brought IGN up to me when we were talking about.
Yeah. No, I just mean like,
games.
are they the same way?
Because I was looking. Oh, like the Christian was talking about.
Yeah, like Christian was talking about. Like if like it's like subsidiary or something. Because IGN like for instance, like Saints Row just came out, or actually probably a better example is She-Hulk. They'll post a review on like Facebook, and it'll be like, She-Hulk is the new woke bit of media that we all needed. and then Instagram version of IGN will be like, this is just another piece of woke propaganda by Disney that didn't need to happen. And then like the Twitter version will be like, yeah, you should check it out, it's fun.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah,
sort of.
And I feel like it happens a lot, but I Christian, I didn't know about everything you just said. I didn't realize that was a thing. I don't know if IGN's the same way or.
I don't know, because like IGN, like I'm sure they have different people monitoring their different social media platforms. Like I'm sure it's not just one dude that's like, I have to monitor all of IGN stuff. So, but like they post like IGN posts like these wide covering things. I just don't know, like it's. I mean, it could just be for clicks, because everything's all about clicks. So it could just be like if we post a good review, a mediocre review, and a bad review, we cover all of our bases, and all the people that have any type of feeling about She-Hulk or whatever you want to call it, we can get all of those clicks. So do you think the age of like actually having an honest opinion is just over?
I mean, it kind of feels that way, because like it's one of the reasons that I don't pay attention to things like Metacritic anymore. I don't pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes. I don't pay attention to reviews by IGN or anyone really anymore, especially like Kotaku. I've never really liked Kotaku, but
no, Kotaku.
But people swear by Kotaku, and I'm like,
I know a lot of people that love Kotaku.
Yeah, and I don't understand it. But anyway, I don't after like stupid things like Reva in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, or Captain Marvel, She-Hulk, like people don't like something, and so it gets review bombed hard, and so
especially on Rotten Tomatoes,
and so like
people will go on there and just do it because they don't like it.
Yeah, they'll get bots, and they'll spam negative reviews and dislikes. And so it tanks the score, and then Rotten Tomatoes is like, here's our score of She-Hulk. It's it's super rotten. It's got like a 12, and you're like, oh god. And then people take that to heart, and they're like, well, I don't want to watch that. And I just don't pay attention to it anymore. I'd rather just make my own opinion, because I think you're right. I don't think there is any. So I think the honest opinions are the reactors on YouTube. Most of them anyway. Like I'm sure that there's.
You think so? Because I feel like there's some reaction
content. I feel like there's definitely some corporate sponsored ones out there, but like there's a handful like previewed. The Real Rejects, Blind Wave, who I trust when it comes to reviews. Like because there's usually more. It's not just one guy. Like previewed is Adam and Jay. With the Real Rejects, you have Eric and John, and then Blind Wave. There's like 5 or 6 of them, and so like you get opinions across the board, but like you can make a decision based on those reviews. Like, okay, my views probably align closer to what these two are saying versus these two. You know what I mean? Like that, you get a wide variety of honest opinions. Whereas if you go to the media and the news sources, like you're not going to get anything with substance. I feel like you're eating packing peanuts at that point.
The only reason I look at reviews, if and when I do, is just to see, I don't know, if they mention the length of the game, or just like certain aspects, just to kind of see maybe like how some of the side quests are, how if the story seems like it's engaging or anything like that. The only time I don't look at a review is if it's something I'm just getting regardless, like Soul Hackers.
Yeah.
Or like, you go ahead.
No, sorry, man. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, or like Digimon. Even though like I like Digimon, I'm not super into Digimon, but this has been a game that's kind of like teetered on the like, is this coming out? Is this coming out? When's it coming out? For so long, and just the initial like consensus of it always appealed to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've had so many negative experiences with reviews that I personally I can't do it anymore. Like, I think the most recent example is probably Cowboy Bebop, the live action. Like,
which I thought was good.
I thought it was so good, and I obviously you haven't seen the anime, and I think we are going to do some kind of thing with that at some point.
Sure.
But it is for the most part straight on with the anime. Obviously, they left things out because the anime is only so long. But it's a Netflix show. It's live action. They're not going to do all the filler and all that. And they move some stuff around. But for the most part, it was great. The acting was really good. The story followed the anime for the most part. Like, there were some shot for shot remakes from the anime, but it got bombed hard and canceled within like a week.
Which is weird because if you look at like the Lion King movie, it was praised.
Yeah,
and
that
I
movie
hated
it
that.
was so bad. It was so
Well,
bad.
okay, the Lion King remake. I know we're getting off topic here, but I used to say this. It was good, but it was just the Lion King.
Yeah,
like it was shot for shot almost.
So
the Lion King.
The only
outstanding cast, but
yeah.
So I think So here's my thing. The casting was good. I have no issues
Seth
with the
Rogen,
yeah.
Pumbaa.
Seth Rogen as Pumbaa was the perfect casting.
Mm-hmm.
But
wasn't Billy Eichner?
Yeah, Billy. Yeah,
Timon?
it was great.
Oh yeah,
it was great. it was fantastic.
Yeah.
The problem with it was, and it's hard for me to say as an animator because I understand the amount of work that went into that, and it's a lot to make photorealistic environments and animals and all that good stuff, because they did a phenomenal job on that, but I feel like they did too good of a job. Because like if you watch the original Lion King, like when Mufasa dies in that trench, it's heart-wrenching. Mm-hmm. You can see the sadness in Simba's eyes, you can see the fear in Mufasa's eyes, and this it's just like, yep, that's a cat, and now that cat's dead, and that cat's gonna go nuzzle that cat, and that's all I saw. It just looked like a real lion with no emotion in its face, and then a voice actor voicing emotion, but it didn't match anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like it felt like I was watching an audiobook that was, I don't know. It was like the voice wasn't matching the lips. I don't know. It was weird.
The inanimate objects in Beauty and the Beast live action had a lot more emotion. Than anybody in Lion King.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, back to what we were talking about, though. So, I guess like, what are you supposed to do if you're on the fence about something? Then, I mean, like, if.
Well, for me personally, I'll wait like a day or two and catch somebody streaming it on Twitch, or I'll watch some gameplay on YouTube or something, and then base my opinion on what I'm seeing, as opposed to what all these reviews are saying.
I agree. I look at streams far more often than I look at reviews now, just so I can like actually see gameplay.
Yeah.
And like the little like stuff that you might not see in between, like, okay, well, what's this menu look like at the town pub or something like that? What's the HUD, the interface look like? Like that appeals more to me than honestly actually seeing the gameplay, is seeing the stuff in between the gameplay.
Yeah, which is weird because I feel like that's a recent development for me anyway. Is like before it was like, oh man, Kingdom Hearts 3 looks like, oh, it's just, oh man, I can't wait. And then but like I didn't really think like, I wonder what the HUD's like. I wonder what the combat system's like. Because
if it's visually appealing like that, I'm more inclined to enjoy the possibly repetitive gameplay.
Yeah.
Or, well, talking about games, I know it's a different discussion for like a movie or something. But I feel like for games or something, it's either, look at reviews or just wait for the price drop, or just take the gamble.
Yeah.
Or if it's a movie or something, wait for it to go on the streaming service or take a gamble.
Yeah. See, like, I think and again, we're just more tangents here, but like we've all played Final Fantasy 14 on a console, right?
Yeah.
So we know how that button layout works, and it's actually really convenient to play on console.
I think so.
But all of the media that you see for that game is PC gameplay, and it looks like a just cluster mess of squares on the screen and just a bunch of clicking, and it looks like chaos, and it looks confusing, and it looks like I don't want any part of that. But if they were to show how simple like you can make that work like with a console, I feel like you get more people to play it. Not that they have a problem. I mean, they have like 15 million people playing the game, but like I'm just saying there's better ways to advertise stuff like that.
It's a PC gamer's world.
I don't know.
I was just going to add that I think one of the modern day problems is that everyone got too acclimated to scrolling through a social media feed, seeing a simplified post of a website like Kotaku or IGN, and you'll just see the score. And then you'll take that score and be like, oh, shouldn't play this game. Or, oh, 10 out of 10. This is apparently a must play. No one even reads the actual review. Like, the scoring system that all these journalistic outlets are using is just to simplify it. But then if you see that score, you're supposed to actually read the actual article to see their justification why they gave it that score. Because it's a lot more easy for you to discern, like, oh, well, apparently this person got really hung up on this issue, but that's not really a problem for me in the type of games I enjoy. So I won't have that problem. So whereas they might have scored it a 6 out of 10, it might be a 9 out of 10 for you or someone else out there. I think that, like, because I think even IGN recently stopped posting in those little clickbait articles on social media what the score is. You have to scroll all the way to the bottom,
They did.
and then you'll actually see the score. And that's why, because people were just seeing the review and then writing off the rest of the article altogether and weren't even giving it the time of day to actually see the justification behind it. So
the other problem to that though is that a lot of times the developer will share an image of like the game art with all of the scores on it, and a lot of people will see that and be like, oh, IGN gave it a 6, I don't need to look any further.
I'm pretty sure developers only put the good scores on there
For the most part. It depends on the developer. I've seen a lot of indies put all the scores out there.
But I will say, like when they do post those scores, I see who reviewed what, and if it's just like, I've never heard of this obscure website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom's
Like, why are you
Potatoes
putting
gave
my-
this
yeah.
a 9.9.
Yeah.
What?
Like, okay, what did, like, I mean, I know we're using IGN as an example. Like, what did IGN give you? Because they have reputable, like, they have like
Yeah.
some credit to them. I guess maybe not so much anymore, but
The ones I see the most are like IGN and GameSpot.
Yeah.
IGN, Game, and is it Game Informer still around or no?
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Game Informer, IGN, GameSpot.
think honestly the best thing you could possibly do if you're still interested in doing the whole reviews and using it as justification to or to not buy a game is to not necessarily look at the outlet itself. Find a specific journalist within that outlet that you've read a few of their reviews in the past, and they actually like go through the motions of why they gave the rating they did and a broken down justification for that. And then like when IGN posts 4 different reviews all for the same game, don't read the other 3, just read the single one that you know and trust.
Yeah.
So that's
Because-
what I was actually going to bring up. Like Cody mentioned, like reviewers like previewed and other things like that. I can't think of anything off the top
Blind
of my head.
Wave.
Blind Wave, yeah. I know there was a bunch of people that do a bunch of reactions and reviews, like What Culture or something like that. That's the only one I could think of off the top of my head. Is that like the future? Is you kind of have to like find that fan base you like, and then think like, okay, like us right here, like if we ever get to the point where people are like, I'm kind of in line with what these guys are saying, so if they're saying it's good or if they're saying it's bad, maybe there's something to that.
Well, I'll say this because we talked briefly off camera and off podcast about this a little earlier this week about doing some more reviews. We have one review up on our channel, and that's one that Tim did for Persona Strikers, and we're thinking about doing some more content like that. But I will say this for our group specifically: if you do value our opinion and you decide that you want to
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. First off, yeah. But if you decide that you want to base your opinion on what we think, know that one, it's not going to be before the game comes out, right? Unless we get like hella popular and studios are giving us early copies of games to review it. I doubt, right?
I was just saying in general,
but
like
no, in
there's
general,
other people.
But if you were to come to us for opinions on games, know that we're going to give you our honest opinion on those games, and we're not always going to agree between the four of us. Like,
in fact, usually we don't.
Usually,
we
yeah.
do.
I mean, we do and we don't, but like specifically, like right now, like it's rough out there trying to find a game for all four of us to play that we're gonna enjoy. Like we're all just very different people in that respect. So keep that in mind.
It's actually a great comparison point though, because like even with that, like say if we posted some kind of game or some kind of entertainment review score on YouTube or whatever, it's probably just gonna be one of the four of us' opinion. So like even though it's got the branding on it from all of us, it's really just one of us giving our personal opinion.
Yeah,
so it's kind of the same thing with the outlets.
But I would.
Yeah, but I would rather one of us post our opinion than all three of us do it differently. I mean, there's a chance that all of them could agree, but I don't want to be like, for instance, if I'm doing a review, I'm going to give you my honest opinion of that. Now, I know that all of us are playing different games right now anyway. Like me and Cody happen to just be playing Saints Row at the same time, but like I don't even know what you're playing, Christian, but Steven's playing Soul Hackers, so like we also don't all play the same game. So I guess the one opinion, whether yay or nay, is just going to be our opinion.
Yeah, and I think so. If we put out a video that's a review based on a game, most likely that is the opinion based on whoever's doing the review, right? That's not a group score. Now, if we're reviewing a game like let's use Mario Party for instance, and that will be based on a collective average score of all four of us. All right, that's not gonna, like, if I give it a 10 and if it's just me and Tim playing a game, I give it a 10, he gives it a 5, we're somewhere in the middle there, right? Like that's what the score will be. So we'll average those scores for
7.5.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it's all four of us, right? Like it'll be somewhere nice little average based on what all four of us think. But if you get a video out and like let's say Tim does a review video for Saints Row, it's going to be based on his opinion, not my opinion, even though I'm playing it. Like it'll be his review. But if we post something on Discord about the review, we may individually rank the game in our opinion. Maybe not so much an article review from each of us, just Cody gave this an 8 and Christian gave it a 7, Steven gave it a 9, Tim gave it a 4 because he hated it. I don't know. We maybe do something like that. We've done that in the past on the website. But that would be the extent of it.
I think a good example would be I'm pretty sure me and Christian are going to be playing Gotham Knights at least a decent bit together. So I know that'll probably be like two different reviews kind of in the same time frame about something. So that might be a good example.
Yep.
For later.
Yep. But I always encourage to do your research, right? Like don't always just take our opinion. Don't take anyone's opinion on something. Do some research, find out for yourself. Like I said, my personal go-to is just find a stream. It doesn't matter if you know who the streamer is. It doesn't matter if you care about their content in any way. You just want to see what the game is like. Turn on a stream.
So I never actually thought of that before. Like that streaming's a good way of like. I mean, it is. It's just I never thought of it like that.
Yeah,
I remember watching a streamer named Lyric. When he was playing Stardew Valley, and I hadn't played it yet, and I was like, oh, this looks like a nice little farming game because Harvest Moon wasn't doing anything anymore, and I know they had Story of Seasons, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I just downloaded it on a whim, and I love it.
So I guess at the end of the day, you kind of have to just make your own opinion.
Yeah, you got to make your own opinion. Use reviews that come from us and other reviewers as just as a tool. Use it like research on a paper in school or something. You know what I mean? Like we're just a source, and we have our own individual opinions, and you have yours. Build your own.
It really sucks. I don't know how PC is real much, just because I'm not a PC gamer, but it sucks that they don't really do demos as much anymore. I understand why. It still sucks though.
Yeah. Well, the PlayStation Store has trials now.
Yeah, but that's something you'd have to get like Plus for and all that.
Yeah,
like you're essentially paying to play the demo still.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really do free demos. They do every now and again, but not really.
Yeah, some stuff. Yeah. Some stuff though will. Switch still does them more often than PlayStation, in my opinion.
I think that's where Nintendo. So I mean, not to go too off topic here, but like Nintendo, for all their faults, like I feel like they do it right in terms of like the demos, and like they know where their niche is, and that's handheld. So they hit a home run with the Switch.
I honestly don't know if demos are up to Nintendo or the publisher, though. That's not something I'm aware of.
I'm assuming it's both, but I also, just thinking about it, like I feel like most games with demos on the eShop are Nintendo games.
A lot of demos I see are
Nintendo
like
partner.
They had demos for all three of those games, like Live Alive or Triangle Strategy and Octopath, and then they had Monster Hunter demos. Like they do pretty good with their stuff.
Yeah.
I think they even had demos for like first party stuff. Which is nice.
They usually do. I think for some of them.
I think, but they know they can afford that. Like if you download a demo on PlayStation and you decide you didn't like the demo, then you're not going to get the game, and there's a loss of money.
Yeah.
Played on Switch, odds are, they're like, all right, here's your demo for I don't know, Kirby in the Forgotten World. You're like, huh, it plays like Kirby. I'm gonna buy it. Like, yeah, what'd you expect?
Yeah.
It's not gonna play like Devil May Cry.
I mean, I'd play that Kirby game.
Oh yeah. That'd be fantastic. But
yeah, I guess moral of the story, to get back on topic, is form your own opinion. Watch some streams for a game. Usually you can find streamers playing it a day or two early, typically, depending on the studio. So check those out. If you just need to see the UI, if you just need to see how the combat works or whatever, like, do that. Most places like GameStop, having worked there for 2.5 years, and I know others have worked there as well. Most of the time, even within like a week, from what I remember, you can still get the pre-order bonuses from places like GameStop. Like,
especially if it's boxed in.
Yeah, if it's boxed in, like you go and it's like the day one edition or whatever, you can still get that.
I hate pre-order bonuses. Like, I mean, they're what get me sometimes, but I hate them because I feel like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm getting this special armor for this character that I shouldn't have right now, and that kind of ruins the game a little bit for me. Just because I know I don't have to use it, but also like, I mean, it's there. How am I supposed to say no to that?
I like it when pre-order bonuses are cosmetic.
Yeah.
When it's just cosmetic and it's like, this is how you get it. Pre-order.
Even then it messes with me sometimes. I feel like I should look like a pile of shit right now. I shouldn't look like a golden knight. I should look like I just crawled out from a sewer. I don't want to, but that's what the game wants me to look like right now.
So what's really funny is that cosmetic pre-order bonuses is oftentimes like what talks me into getting the day one edition or whatever. But I've caught myself so many times where I'll get a game, get the pre-order bonus, I'll put this awesome cosmetic on my character, and then I'll like go into like a co-op multiplayer game, and then everybody has that same skin, and then I'm like, never mind, I want to change it.
Some of them do it better, like I know Christian, when I was talking about Monster Hunter, they had like a Shiba Inu skin for the Palamute and a
Palico skin for the cat, like that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, the armor and all that, and like when Fall Guys came out and everybody got the free the free pink wolf outfit, and everybody was wearing that. Like, how can you not?
Well, it's like
Or even the Ezio recently.
Yeah. The new Hogwarts Legacy game, like it has pre-order bonuses for certain editions. Like if you get the collector's edition, you get a specific robe that's you can only get with that collector's edition, which I don't know why it sold out as fast as it did, but it sure did. People were like, oh man, I can't wait to get my hard electronic book that lets a wand float half an inch off the top of it.
I mean,
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
What Steven was trying to say.
oh, can
Hello?
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
okay,
you're back.
I was trying to say I prefer like physical pre-order bonuses. Like if they're just like, hey, here's a here's a commemorative coin or something like that, just something
Rating
stupid.
pin or something.
Yeah, like I would much prefer that over like something digital.
I mean, I got like
Just 'cause I don't know.
the ring from Uncharted 4.
Yeah, like I don't even have anything just looking around that I can just use as an example because they just don't do that anymore. Anything I have is either packed away or.
I was gonna say all my stuff's in shelves on opposite sides of the camera that you can't see, but
They have the Assassin's Creed 3 statue.
yeah, I've got like Nathan Drake over here.
Well, those are collector's editions though. Those aren't like actual like pre-order bonuses. Like, hey, pre-order from GameStop, get this free poster.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
no, I don't
I
have any of those anymore, except for, like I said, like I have Uncharted. If you don't know, if I haven't mentioned it on this podcast before, Naughty Dog is like my second favorite of all time studio. So like anytime they do something, I'm like, yeah, I gotta have it. But like, you know, like I've got Nathan's ring that came with one of the, it wasn't like any extra. There's America's ass, everybody. As Christian bends over in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I think Steven froze again.
Oh, well, hey.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
Both of them.
Yep. We
Same time.
got Christian's ass and Steven's face. All just. He was stunned. He was stunned.
Don't combine them.
Well, I'm just saying. The second Christian bent over and showed everyone his rear. You froze.
You saw it for a second. Move on.
Anyway, yeah, I wish they did more pre-order stuff like that. Like, didn't Pokemon do like you got like
you got cards?
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
like
there you
that.
go.
I didn't get that. I'm jealous.
GameStop.
Hey,
I didn't get one of those because I ordered from Amazon.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like Amazon gets all my pre-order.
Yeah,
they get all my pre-orders just because I already have Amazon Prime, and because I ain't got to go out. But like,
you got Prime, it's discounted, and you get it day one.
No, Prime's not discounted, and honestly, Prime has been sucking lately.
Wasn't that a thing? Like if you bought new games on Prime, they were
that
like
used
cheaper?
to be a thing.
Oh,
That stopped like 2 or 3 years ago.
they occasionally will do that. It's rare nowadays. The only thing that about it is that you can get it the day of. Which we were talking about off stream before, and this is why I kind of started just going digital. I could play it at midnight if I just bought it through the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, that's
Well, I know Walmart still actually gives discounts, like $10 off the game.
But I do miss those days of like lining up, like the Call of Duty days when we used to line up and we actually met people through there.
Yeah, I don't know. Did we meet Steven? Did I meet you in a line for Destiny, or was it the theater? I can't remember.
The theater. Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I miss midnight releases. I do. Those were fun. I don't miss going home and waiting out there at midnight because that's dangerous.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
Especially
I remember Cody and I were like hugging our PS4s and running through the mall.
Oh yeah.
We were afraid that people were gonna steal it.
That's how it was when I got Destiny. I had the brand new white PS4 and It's like, all right, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, picking up my PS5 was probably one of the most nerve-wracking things because they didn't.
You picked it up?
They didn't drop it off at my house.
Oh.
Like it was a weird thing. Like I got it day one, but like they were like, we had a shipping error, so it went to like the UPS store, and I was like, okay.
What's the error?
So I had to go to the not UPS, USPS. So I had to go to Harrisburg to pick it up.
Sweet, they shipped it through USPS.
Yeah,
I think mine came in because I ordered from Target. Mine came in on FedEx.
Well, so I've ordered things that have gone through FedEx, but then they get delivered by UPS. Sups.
UPS. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I don't know. It's the same with Amazon. I've ordered stuff through Amazon and it's got delivered by USPS. So
yeah, forget Amazon, but just go to Best Buy for all my stuff. Get some more of those crappy steel books.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up. Unless anybody has anything they want to add.
Nope. Final notes. Just make your own opinions. Choose who you listen to on the internet wisely. Form your own opinions, I think, is what it really boils down to. Don't trust the big corporations unless, like Christian was saying, like you have a reviewer that you know and trust. Like you like their opinion, that's fine. But don't just broadly go with what IGN or Kotaku or whoever.
Kotaku. 4chan. No, don't.
No, God,
4chan.
no.
Don't go on 4chan.
If you're going to 4chan
go on
for
4chan.
reviews, then
Don't.
you're already
Unsubscribe.
doing
We
it
don't
wrong.
want you here. No, I was kidding.
Anyway, before we sign off here, what's everybody got going on, and can people find you places or?
You can find me at Twitch at Purple Sunglasses. I'm currently streaming God of War. Please come and hang out so I can become an affiliate like Cody. Also, I would like somebody to talk to in the stream.
That's not
because
me.
it gets. Well, I don't mind talking to you, but like you don't always can't make it because you're at work sometimes, or you're streaming yourself. So I mean, I don't mind talking to my computer screen, but it gets a little lonely.
What God of War are you playing, by the way? Are you still on Ascension? Or
no, what? Since the streaming, I was streaming and I had issues with the mouth not lining up with the actual action on the screen, and it really was kind of throwing me off. So I had to go to a hard copy of a disc.
I gotcha.
And I don't know if I have enough time to play. I don't know if I have enough time to play through 1, 2, and 3 and 2018 one before Ragnarok comes out. But I'm going to give it the old college try. I'm streaming. Well, by the time this airs, I will have already streamed. But at the time of recording, I'm streaming tomorrow night.
This comes out. We decided Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. So I'm probably streaming Raft tonight around 8:00 Eastern.
Yeah.
Tonight, as in the day this comes out.
Wednesday. Yeah.
I'll be streaming Raft with Mad Tomato. So come hang out.
The crazy vegetable.
Yeah. If you missed my streams this past weekend, again, I'm in the future. This is future Cody. I started playing The Last of Us Part 1, and it's going great. I'm assuming it's going great. Nothing.
I mean, you've already
no
played
hiccups.
The Last of Us Part 1, so
there's no hiccups. Nothing. It's fine.
You are jinxing it.
100%.
Hey, I mean, the last stream I did, apparently halfway through it, no one could hear me anymore.
Oh yeah, your audio just died halfway through. It was.
Shout out to the person that kept watching me, though.
Yeah. I mean, your game audio was still there.
Yeah.
So, but I'm also going to be starting Cult of the Lamb probably Monday on stream, which is going to be a lot of fun. So I hope the three of you show up because my followers, because I'm an affiliate now, I can actually have my followers.
When are you doing this?
It'll be Monday afternoon, I think.
Okay. Monday from right now?
Yeah, from today, not from Wednesday when this comes out.
When this comes out, we've already done it.
Let's not do this.
Yeah, let's move on.
No,
Monday, September
guys,
the something.
You let me confuse these people. Anyway, my point being, come hang out for those streams as well, because you can essentially be a part of that stream. If you follow me on Twitch, you can then join my in-game cult and mess around with the game and stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. So Christian, are you going to be streaming? I know you got the stuff to do it now.
One of these days, I'll get there.
Steven too.
Yeah.
Hey man, you have the second most followers out of all of us.
Yeah. I don't have the fancy setup like everyone else, so I have to stream from console.
Okay.
So
It works.
Well,
all right.
Anyway, join our Discord, and you can figure out all this stuff. Also, if there's things you want us to talk about or discuss, feel free to leave some stuff there, because there's a podcast suggestions channel. What do you call it? Is it a channel?
It's a channel,
Okay.
yeah.
There's a suggestions channel where you can leave suggestions about what you want us to talk about and or do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and who knows, if you put something on there, we might do it, or we might argue about doing it. Who knows?
Better.
Probably the latter. That's what happened this last
Probably
time.
the latter.
Yeah. Leave a comment, leave a review on Spotify, Break Plates, whatever Steven just did. No, leave a review on Spotify. Leave a comment on YouTube and comment on the Discord. There'll be links in the description below for everything if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're not, I don't know where it is. I don't know. Can't help you. Can't help
there.
you. It's somewhere.
It's there. Just
Use your
some
eyes.
kind of entertainment.
Yeah, there you go. Some kind of
Can you
entertainment.
search stuff on Discord? I have no idea.
No. If you're on Discord, you've made it.
You're already there.
You're there. There's links to everything
Discord
in
is
there.
it's weirdly accessible and inaccessible at the same time.
And we lost Steven. He was done with it. He was just done.
Well, it was a good time to go anyway.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, yep. So okay, we'll kill it here, and we'll catch everybody next time. We might be doing this weekly, by the way, now, so you don't have to wait 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. We're doing it weekly, right?
Yeah,
Right?
weekly. Yeah. So
Weekly. So see you next week. We'll have to watch Spartacus.
Another week
Spartacus
of
is right
technical
here.
issues.
yes, another week of technical issues and chaos.
Yeah, this is Spartacus right here. So this should be uncovered next time.
That's a poster.
Bye.
But I can point.
Bye.
Bye.